Hey guys, it's Francesca Lana, and you're watching Pop Fusion the Talk Show. We're joined by Garrett G.P. Jackson, who has an incredible song, Letter to a Nation. Very, very beautiful song about the injustice that are going on in society and COVID-19. Let's please welcome him. Virtual class.
What's up? Hey, Francesca, how are you?
Good. Happy New Year's Eve. How are you?
Thank you. Same to you as well. I couldn't be better. So glad to see that we're finally at the end of this year. 2021 is hours away. Just really excited for the year ahead. This has been such a revealing and difficult year for so many. I actually became a dad in all of this.
Oh my God, congrats. You should have sent me a baby picture so I could have pulled it up.
It's nap time. It's nap time. So, yeah. Can't bother nap time, as Mama will have me for dinner. But it's great. His name is Quincy.
Quincy.
After Quincy Jones. Shout out to the greatest, to the GOAT, Quincy Jones. But yeah, he's our little guy, about 5.5, almost 6 months now. Brings us so much joy, and so much of the reason behind even creating this song, thinking about where the origins of it come from, and some of my own challenges during my wife's pregnancy.
Wow.
Being able to kind of manage some of that. So we'll get into all of that. But thank you. I'm so happy here. This is so.
We're so happy to have you. It's really cool. It really sucks, of course, with COVID-19 and all the lives that were lost, and then the impact that it's made on media. Our studio closed as well, so everything is being done virtual. And of course, your technical difficulties sometimes. So, thank you for being with us. We're gonna have a great time today, and I wanted to start out with the video. So the video itself is called "Letter to a Nation," right?
That's right.
So we have a sneak peek for our viewers. I'm about to play maybe about 30 seconds to a minute of it. So
let's go.
Where do I begin? Will it ever end? How did we even get here? How long will we be here? When will we win? Our time seems like it's running thin. Confusion and delusion are sinking in. Our faith is being shaken. Might bend, but it ain't breaking. Would you listen to my letter to a nation? Dear America.
That was so beautiful. We didn't want to give out the whole video. We want people to go to your social media and watch.
All right.
Oh my gosh, you're an incredibly talented artist. I know that so many things have happened this year, but what specifically inspired you to release this song during these times? Was there like a specific event that said, we got to do this, or how did that come about?
Wow, that's a great question, and thank you for showing that clip. There's a lot more to see. This song came about in around March of this year. And I woke up with the song. I'm not lying. I woke up with the song, the lyrics, the music, pretty much 95% complete in a matter of 2 days. I had the whole song written out.
Wow.
And what, obviously with COVID, this was the early point when stay-at-home orders were starting to get in place, and folks were really kind of scrambling to figure out what to do. You couldn't find toilet paper in stores, and just, everybody was getting sent home from work. If they were, working in an office, perhaps now they were working virtually, and just a ton of confusion from our leadership at the highest level about how we deal with this and what to do and what are the procedures and do we wear masks or don't we? And so this song was birthed out of that place of just utter shock of this happening in America, and it sort of, as the months went on, as we were producing the song, it started to take on a bit more of a different sort of tone, because I thought maybe this was going to be over April, May, and so I was really trying to push to get the song out there. And it wasn't until a series of events that just kind of kept pushing the song back, that were kind of out of our control, until one day I looked up in June and George Floyd gets killed. And that actually became the point where I wrote the spoken word that's on the back end of the song, which really talks about the racial injustice and kind of ties this whole piece together to really try to get us to a place of healing, right? Because the point of the song is, as a nation, we have not even still yet taken time to mourn what has happened and what is continuing to happen. We haven't had a national day of mourning, a national day of sort of, what do we do? We're in constant trying to fix it mode, and many of us who are feeling the brunt of what's going on are struggling. And so we're dealing with loved ones who are challenged by it. Perhaps folks have gotten it themselves, and obviously a lot of people have lost their lives to this. And believe it or not, when folks watch the rest of the video, you'll see there's a really, really captivating shot that we have at inside of DC at RFK Stadium. For folks who know DC, don't know RFK Stadium, and there's a memorial that was actually put together by an artist out of Bethesda that had little tiny flags for all of the lives that had been lost to COVID. And it went up in October. We shot in November, and at the end of November, it was gone. And this little snapshot will give you a sense of where we were just a month and a half ago. And it's just terrifying to see just how many more lives have been lost even since then. So this was born out of a difficult place, really trying to help folks be able to express themselves through the pain, the anger, the frustration, the tragedy of all of this, but somehow creating a door to open for hope. Somehow creating a sense that we can come out of this if we pull ourselves together as a collective, as a community, inclusive of non-Black and brown folks, but obviously very much inclusive of making sure that we within the Black community are wrapping our arms around each other and encouraging one another through this. So it's a challenging song. I don't know, when I wrote it, I think that it was I didn't necessarily think it was a very hopeful song, maybe because I wrote it during COVID. So I've got my own feelings and emotions as I'm writing it, and just looking at the headlines, I'm like, wow, this is still happening, it's still going on. This is still getting worse. Wow. Yeah. Ironically, the song was released the same day that the vaccine came out for healthcare workers on December 14th.
Oh my goodness, the irony.
You can't plan this stuff, right? You cannot plan this stuff. And so I've just been humbled by the response. I've been humbled by, folks like yourselves that are like, we need to have these conversations. But that's part of what the goal was to get this song out there so people can think and really begin to talk about, what is my own letter? What do I need to be doing? Where do I need to be speaking out? And how do I do that in a perhaps in a creative way or in a practical way? What are the things that I can do where I am to let my voice be heard, to write my letter? And so that's what I'm hoping that folks will take away from it, and hopefully be encouraged that 2021 is going to bring something a little bit better. But right now we can't miss what's been happening around us and just ignore it. We've got to deal with it. It's the only way that we're going to get to the healing that we so desperately need as a people.
That's so true, and that was a beautiful answer. I feel it's really pushing a lot of great genuine points that it keeps happening. It seems like it's not going to end anytime soon, especially with the new strain and them just having a vaccine, and then that's still, people are kind of iffy about that, and it's just so many things happening. And I'm glad that you're using your platform to spread awareness about this, but it's twofold. With police brutality and then COVID-19, we're touching on healing. I feel like we're on healing, like illness, physical healing, and then like the mental healing of like brutality, injustices.
Yes.
That ever since from your perspective, do you think things have gotten a little better, or have people become more aware? What are your thoughts about that?
I mean, it's an ongoing battle. Right? It's an ongoing battle to try to raise the awareness of where we are as a society in terms of systemic police violence to Black and brown bodies over the history of our country. And unfortunately, the latest examples, I believe, happened to happen during a time when so many of us had so much less going on because of the pandemic. And so raised our sensitivity toward it because most of us didn't have anything to do. So this was all we were getting, and it caused a lot of folks to look in the mirror. A lot of allies or folks who maybe never gave it a second thought to really look at it and say, wow, this is still happening, and look at how blatantly awful this situation is, and these situations have been. What do we do now? I think, yes, this was a watershed moment. George Floyd was certainly a watershed moment for a lot of folks. And so hopefully people are getting a bit smarter about it, but we can't, we have to leverage that as a community a bit to say like, okay, now that you're paying a bit more attention, these are now the steps that have to be taken. These are the policies that have to be taken and implemented at the local level, at the state level, federal level, so that we can changes happen. If it's rerouting funds, I know you've heard things around defund the police, and perhaps it's a combination of taking some funds, reallocating them to, like you said, with mental health. When there's a mental health call to 911, do we need a police dispatch, or do we need a mental health care professional to aid to that individual? So there's nuance, and I know there's politics around the language of it, but what we're trying to get to is a place of legit healing, legit acknowledgement of what has been, so that we can begin to get to a place of what healing actually looks like, what restorative justice looks like. And I'm just happy that I can add my voice to the conversation. And I want this song to be used. Like, I told people when I released it a couple of weeks ago, I said, look, if people buy it on iTunes, Amazon, like that's great. I appreciate that. Like, as an artist, great. I appreciate that. But I want people to see this video, because that is what I think is going to sort of pierce through a bit more and really cause folks to think about what they should be doing differently. And if people take that approach, or take that away, kind of share what their story is, then I think we'll start to get there a bit more.
Yeah, and I agree. I think people are having more time now being in quarantine, or just more time in general, because even if you're not in quarantine, there are still facilities and restaurants and things that you used to go to, especially in California, that are not available anymore. So it's like like, even if you are going to work, you're kind of forced to go to work and then come home and then repeat the cycle. So yes, we do have more time. People are more aware, even from the fact of, like, I feel like so many organizations now have said Black Lives Matter, from the biggest organizations, from the NBA to, I mean, you name it, Pandora, every streaming service, every network, they kind of all had that statement. So I was at least happy to see that, to what you said, there was more awareness, but we still do need that change to happen, because even after George Floyd, there was still more and more. It's like more names are being added to the list like every single day. And even if they didn't get as much media exposure that George Floyd did, it's still happening. So to your point, there still needs to be a lot more education, and a lot more things need to happen.
I agree. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. We got a long way.
And so with your incredible song, as far as the creative process, what genre of music would you say that is? I couldn't really pinpoint it. I was like, I couldn't really say, I don't know. I wanted to say like country, but I didn't want to say country. I wanted to say pop. What genre would you consider it to be?
So that's such an interesting question. I've been wrestling with that myself. So according to iTunes, it's blues rock.
Love it.
which I can get with. Now,
I
understand the context, right? So my background is in classical voice. So I studied voice at Morgan State University, sang with their choir internationally, studied German, studied Italian, studied French, studied, all those different languages. And so that has primarily been my gift, we'll say. So as a recording artist, when I wrote the song, my ear is more toward classical, and then jazz, gospel, that kind of thing, soul, neo soul kind of feel. But I've never recorded anything in those spaces. And so when I wrote the song, I'm hearing it one way, and I'm only hearing it one way. I'm like, this is a country, gospel-ish, bluesy.
Gospel-ish too, yes.
And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, Garrett, you don't really sing that. And then I'm like, well, I guess you haven't sung it yet, but it looks like you're going to. Yep. That's what this is. So I had to kind of reach down into myself and have a moment of evaluation and have an honest moment with myself about what I was really kind of capable of doing. Because here was a moment where I'm thinking to myself, well, I mean, that's not generally what I do. Like, if I put this song out there, am I going to try to change my voice to be this way? And I'm trying to be authentic in what I deliver. I wanted to make sure that came across, because the message is too important for me to just say like, oh, well, I'm going to just give it a shot and see what happens. No, I need to bring 100% of whatever it is that's within me to this song. And so I really had to kind of speak over myself about being confident about being able to deliver this song the way that it came to me. And so once I settled into this kind of country bluesish kind of feel, soul kind of feel, I got in the studio and I sang it how I felt it. And it was that was a powerful moment for me, because I really had to say to myself as an artist, as someone who's now trying to establish themselves as a solo artist, that I can be comfortable in singing in this way and singing in these spaces, and feel a sense of validation that, yeah, this is something I can do. So it was a huge hurdle for me, mentally, to wrap my head around, like, okay, is this going to be okay if this is a country kind of blues song, or if this isn't a soul song, and I thought maybe I could write it that way. I said, no, that's not it. This is what it is, and I have to stick to it. I can't make it something that is not, because again, the message is too important. So I finally got there. I don't know if I'm putting a total label on myself as a blues country artist, but we'll see what I write next.
No, I love it. I feel like you came out of your comfort zone, and it came out amazing. I think you came out of your comfort zone, and with this song, even though, it was talking about some pretty traumatic situations, I think it's going to bring comfort and validation to a lot of people, and really resonate with a lot of people with how we're all feeling. And, congratulations for everything. Can you please tell our viewers where I know we can follow you on social media at Real Jackson, but where can we find this video, and where can we download the song?
Yeah, for sure. So I am GP Jackson on your iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, all of your digital platforms.
Okay.
Certainly for my socials, you can find me at Real GP Jackson.
Okay.
If you're looking specifically on those apps, you'll be able to find me by Jackson. And then on YouTube, search Letter to a Nation, GP Jackson, and you'll see the official music video there. You definitely want to watch it. You definitely want to take the whole 5 minutes and 37 seconds to just inhale everything that's coming at you, and take some time to think about what it is that you saw, because I believe it's a pretty powerful message, and my hope is that this message continues to get out to everybody. We all need to see it. We all need to see it. We all need to encourage one another to think about what we can do different. So there's some pretty dope things that I'm planning for 2021 to continue to elevate this message, and continue to elevate not just the challenges that we've had with COVID and with social injustice, but how as a collective people that we can be more engaged in these processes. So I'm going to be looking to folks like yourself and others in the community who are doing this work and doing it well, to try to partner and think about ways that we can just continue to push this message and just let this song just be a little bit of leverage to get us a little bit farther along to where we're trying to go as a people. So I'm so good for this time, and happy to stay on, answer as many other questions I got all day. The clock turns to midnight, but this is a joy. This is a joy. I'm really happy to be here.
Well, thank you so much. We are so honored to have you, and please let us know when you're releasing, the projects in 2021, and we'll be happy to bring you on again and share with our viewers everything that's going on. We're all about positivity and trying to bring awareness to these issues. So we appreciate you. We appreciate your time, and happy 2021.
Y'all stay safe out there. Continue to wear your masks. This is GP Jackson, Letter to a Nation. Find it out on all your digital platforms.
Follow him, you guys.
Share it. Peace and love to everybody. Thank you so much, friend. Yeah, so good to talk to you.
Thank you. So nice speaking with you as well. All right, you guys. Thank you for watching Pop Fusion. We'll see you guys in 2021.
Peace.